Yo, welcome back. Today, what we're gonna do is we're going to talk about shadow work. I've discovered this practice through a girl. Her channel is called Trinity, but she goes by. She inspired me to get more into shadow work and also other things, because basically all of her videos are interesting. But I digress. So shadow work is basically the practice of focusing more on your negative emotions, your darker emotions, dealing with yourself, dealing with the emotions that you repress usually and that you wouldn't think were there or there that much, if that makes sense. I was inspired to do this, but then I had an episode where I was very toxic and destructive, and I was just like, okay, this isn't just like a hobby anymore. This isn't just something I'm interested in. This is something I need. Let's get in my first week of shadow work. Shadow work day 1. I've written it in a little notebook. Day 1. Taking responsibility for your emotions is like reversing the tide you created with the collective ripples of your troubled thoughts. And we all know that if you have a lot of thoughts, you never get cold.
Cold outside, but I'm still looking like a daddy because a hoe never gets cold.
I remember a time when I laid in bed, accepting hurt, taking it all in, and then let it go in the most beautiful way possible. But it's easy to empower yourself when you haven't created the situation of hurt. Getting to that releasing state regarding your own mistakes is so much harder because you are your worst critic. You are more prompt to forgive others than you are to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Move on. Everyone will benefit from this. Release. Okay. I think this was really me taking accountability in a way that's just more humble, because when you make mistakes and you'll be so sorry that it won't mean much, when you're so beaten down by the things you've done that you can't do anything about it. It's just destructive and nobody benefits from that. Whereas when you feel bad about what you've done, but you take that shame and you turn it into energy to do better, that's where everyone will benefit. So hating yourself is good, a little. But if that's all you do, then are you really sorry, or are you just trying to play the victim? So that's that. Let's get into day 2. Okay, so this is separated into 3 parts. Part 1, you don't own people. People are not possessions or objects. I tend to be very possessive. I choose a person and I act as if they're mine. It prevents good and liberating vibrations to enter the code. Yeah. By code, I mean the Matrix. Or something like life. I don't know. Freedom is our birthright. You don't own people and neither do they own you, because we're all fundamentally free and we must act accordingly. You don't want toxic dependency. You don't want others or yourself to fall into the trap that is emotional incapacity, where emotions are perverted into belongings or reports. What I mean by belongings is confessions turn into empathy jerk-offs or trophies. And reports, I mean seeing others' emotions as something they have to tell you and vice versa. Part 2. You don't have a moral high ground. We all make mistakes. We're all human. You have done just as terrible, if not worse, things as anyone else. You need to remain humble. Taking the moral high ground implies that you are somehow better, but we should all be considered equal and have values. If you judge that someone has lesser values, You should try to understand their point of view instead of stopping your thinking process to a judgment. Nothing is real. You can try to be right about everything, but it'll lead you nowhere, since the concept of right or wrong is a creation of the mind only necessary in a civilized world where attempts at keeping peace are needed. Part 3. You're not the center of the universe. There's a reason why we have friends. Not all the attention of the universe is on you at all times, and that is fine. We shouldn't expect a certain amount of attention either, especially from only one person. If you expect your significant other, your best friend, your mom, or someone else to fill your needs by themselves, you will burn them out. This is why we need a broader circle, so the job of dealing with you is shared amongst more than one person, thus lowering the pressure on them. Same goes the other way. You can't be the one filling another person's need for attention by yourself. You will not only burn out, but you're holding the other person back from benefiting from other people's presence and way of thinking. Aucun homme n'est inutile. Okay, so this was me dealing with feelings of dependency on a person and just putting pressure on them to fix me, basically, which is like emotional manipulation, and it's not okay. So it really made me realize that I need to take responsibility for my emotions, and that is why I'm doing all of this. I'm doing this shadow work because I am so immature. It is astounding. And also, this dependency stems from the fact that I'm very possessive, as I've said in this. And so I was just like logically telling myself to let people need other people than you. Okay. Shadow work day 3. This one is shorter. But I was feeling exceptionally well. I was sitting in a park waiting for a lift, and it was just probably the most beautiful moment I've had in a while, and I will put footage of that moment to fit with the shadow work. I don't know. It makes me feel so good. This particular work. You'll see. Everything is equal. I am equal to the tree in front of me. The lion is equal to the lamb, for without the lamb, there is no lion. What is the lion going to eat? Grass? Nah. We are equal to the animals we kill to eat. So that's that. This isn't like a vegan lecture. I'm not vegan. But saying that the reason why we should kill animals is because we're better or like more important is just not true. It just so happens that we're at the top of the food chain. I don't know. I don't even know if that's shadow work. It was just very clear to me that all life is just that life, you know? Anyway. So I've only done 3 days. I hope that you took something from this, that it maybe inspired you to do the same, because I think everyone would benefit from you dealing with your shit. And this is not me calling you out. I don't know you. But you know you, and you know what you gotta do. Alright. And if I am calling you out, then good. Deal with your shit. But if you're not ready to deal with your shit, I understand very much. But if you feel like you can do it, do it. Do it. It's good for you. Okay, this is all I have. I will leave you at that, and I will see you next week. Bye.